Welcome to another Ultimate Expression video. I am here at the arcade. I have to do an arcade night, and I'm doing a report over the history of strategy games, strategy video games. I want you to leave me a comment of what you think classifies as a video game. Just put it in the comments. Maybe I'll get to it a little bit later in the video. I know I'll address some of that in the paper. The arcade, I remember, younger as a kid, pocket full of quarters. I remember encountering people with the pocket full of quarters. The arcade that I'm going to now, you just pay for admission. You go in there and play at will. And some of the pinball machines, you got to pay for those. So I don't need a whole lot of quarters. But a pocket full of quarters just puts you in that mood. I remember walking up on the people playing Miss Pac-Man and with quarters lined up across the machine. When I saw that, I either knew that they sucked and needed a lot of quarters, or that I wasn't going to get to play. Me, I just needed a couple of quarters. Usually I could play a couple hours on one quarter. So I'll try to not to go straight to Miss Pac-Man, or maybe I will go straight to Miss Pac-Man and stay there a couple of hours before I hit the rest of the video games. But hopefully I get some footage for you guys and talk video games. Here's a favorite right here. I used to play this on Atari. It is one that I consider a strategy video game. Also has a 1943, but we're going to hit up a game on here. All you have to do is press here to add a credit. So let's play. Here's another one that's a combination machine. But Defender is also another Atari game that I consider a strategy game. Some people may not. I'm gonna give this one a try just as well. Well, and then this one, it didn't go so great. I didn't get a high score or nothing like that. But as you can see, the controller is backwards. That gives me problems. I like to hold it forward, but on to the next. That's what it is. Another classic. Check out the graphics on here. They're smaller bit graphics, but the handling of the machine is pretty similar to the way you drive. They give you a little smoke on the tires and let you know you're losing control so you can control your car. But it is a little bit primitive because there's not much feedback. But I enjoy playing this one. I used to have to sit down, but this is a stand-up. Sega. Here we have our abundance of racing games. Cruising World, Cruising USA, that is one that I used to play in the arcade. Off-road is off-road is basically new. Never seen this Lugian Wall. Fast and Furious, I may try that one. But let me get into some of these. I'm gonna go with the Cruising USA first, and I'll hit up a NASCAR or something like that. I do enjoy this game because you are sitting down. You got some pedals, and you got your shifter over here. That gives it that real feeling. As far as feedback from the game, you really don't get a lot of feedback in what you're doing. It's more visual. So, let's see what happens. Alright, the Cruising or the California Speed game took me through them all, and you're running over people. It's pretty entertaining. You have the ever popular Ninja Turtles games. Some of these other, like X-Men, Simpsons, are real popular with people, but not really my thing. And you have some other sports games which involve strategy. I chose strategy because a lot of games involve strategy, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But we do have some shooter games over there and some fighter games. Now, one thing about the strategy games is when it comes to strategy, I like games like this, Tetris. It's not too repetitive, but when you get into the shooter games and the fighter games, sometimes that stuff gets a little repetitive, and you can win just one way once you figure out the game. Okay, now it's time to get in the round of the queen and the king of the video games, of the strategy video games. All-time favorite, get the arm sore. Sore not too bad the first time out. They got the high score. That's what we go for. So number 2, 152. Got better than the Miss Pac-Man on this one. Get a good shot at that. Alright, so we got the Tomcat. I got a song named Tomcat, so I'm gonna play this. Well, it's on free play. Yeah, we're gonna play this one. It's pretty much the last game I played. Right here is the millipede with the screen. The screen isn't lined up, so it's an overlap, so it's much difficult to play. Just got out of the arcade. It was a nice time. Kind of lose myself when I'm in there around video games. I really enjoy playing the Pac-Man, the Miss Pac-Man, beating the high scores on those. Some of the other games, you know, the strategy games, I did play a shooter game, but sometimes those don't really give you a definite goal. So sometimes it can just be a matter of like just trying to do well, just pass or fail, not really a score. Like the millipede. I never really played millipede because it had a roller, and I didn't really enjoy playing video games with rollers on them. But I tried it this time, and the screen wasn't lined up right. I done okay, but it's not exactly my thing. 1942 that I started off with was a game that I really enjoyed when I picked up the Nintendo system, the first NES. And it was really enjoyable. I think they went on to 1943 just as well. But I enjoyed that one in the gameplay and how far I actually was able to make it. That and RC Pro-Am. But as far as like the Pac-Man games on any game consoles at home, maybe 1 star out of 5. Like, I'm not gonna rate that very high. So, you know, that's just me, and that's the games I gravitate towards. But I hope this kind of inspired you to go out and look for some different types of video games. Maybe hit up the arcade in your area and go out and just enjoy yourself. I have a Miss Pac-Man arcade at home that I need to really refurbish the monitor on or get a LED. But it's a matter of time. I got a lot of different types of projects. But now comes the time where I have to write about my experience and write about the history of strategy video games. I hope you enjoyed the little getaway from the usual. Subscribe to the channel. And I may have said this before, I don't make my channel just about cars only. It is about expression. It's about the ultimate expression. Mine may be different than yours. We may not be the same. But I'll catch you guys the next time in the next vlog. Until then, I'm out.